Hi children, welcome to the next science class. Already we have completed 3 classes and in our class we are seeing the lesson habitat. So in the last 3 class we have seen what is meant by habitat, what are the different types of habitat. You would have remembered, I believe, right? What is flora, what is fauna, what is terrestrial habitat, what is aquatic habitat, biotic, abiotic, so many things we have seen. So last class we have winded up with biotic and abiotic. So what we meant by biotic? All living organisms, plants, animals, all living organisms will come under biotic component, and all non-living organisms will come under abiotic components. Now, what is the relationship between biotic and abiotic component? This is today's aim. Today, we are going to understand what is the connection between biotic and abiotic component. Here, one important thing, without abiotic, biotic cannot exist. The same way, without biotic, abiotic will also be not good. So now you are going to learn about interdependence. What is meant by interdependence? They depend each other. That is called interdependence. Now, in your textbook, take page number 39. We'll read out, then we'll proceed. In that 39 already we have completed till biotic and abiotic. Now, see the last paragraph. See the red color heading. Biotic and abiotic components, interdependence. Keep your fingers on each and every word and follow my reading. Abiotic or the non-living components of a habitat includes soil, water, light, temperature and air. Biotic components of a habitat includes producers, consumers, plants and animals. All living organisms including humans depend on the basic and biotic and abiotic components to survive. Both biotic and abiotic components are interdependent. Now you just look at the figure, that is just to explain in brief whatever they have given, that to explain in brief they have given. Now take the next page, that what is given in the next page, that is only explained in that diagram. So if you read this page, you will understand the diagram. Next page, first paragraph. Green plants are the producers in a habitat and are vital for the survival of the living organisms. In green plants, the process of producing food, known as photosynthesis, takes place in the presence of sunlight. Without sunlight, the process of photosynthesis is not possible, and in the absence of photosynthesis, no food can be produced. Without producers, consumers will not have food for their survival. Now we are learning about interdependence. What is the connection between each other? Now you take sunlight. Sunlight is one abiotic component, right? It is a non-living thing, but that is the main source for the plant production. Without sunlight, the plants cannot produce food, and not only production of food, all the animals or plants, whichever they use energy, that energy is nothing but a sunlight. See, sunlight energy only, suppose when you are walking, talking, writing something, you use energy. Do you know what energy you are using? From where that energy is coming? Whatever food you eat, from that energy is coming. Okay, what food you eat? Either you eat plant or animal, that is nothing but a plant sun energy, because the sun energy is trapped by the plants and it is stored inside the plant. So when you eat plant food, you are not eating plant, you are eating the sun energy. The light energy is converted into chemical energy form and kept inside the plant. So when you eat, you are taking the sunlight only in the form of chemicals. Or if you say, no, I will eat only non-veg, I am not eating plants. In that case also, you are taking only sun energy. How? The animals will feed only on the plants. And the plant energy, the sun energy which is transformed to the plant, will transform to the animal which eats. Then it will be stored in that animal. Obviously, when you eat that animal, the sun energy only is entering into your body. So the very big interdependence is sun energy. Sunlight is a non-living thing, but only that gives entire energy for the entire world. So there is a huge dependence between the biotic and abiotic component. Now let us go to the next paragraph. In that same page, come to the next paragraph, keep your fingers. Soil provides plants with nitrogen for their nutrition. If there is no soil, plant cannot obtain the nitrogen needed for their growth and survival. Now, soil is also one abiotic component. First we have seen sun. Now soil. Soil is also abiotic, which means it is a non-living, right? But again, for the production of food, the soil plays a vital role. All the nutrients which plants need are present only in the soil. So from the soil only the plant absorbs the nutrients, and with the help of the nutrients only, we said already, no, it is trapping the sunlight. For that, soil need nutrients, water and carbon dioxide. So now soil also helps for the plant to produce food. Now we will go to the third paragraph. The decomposers decay the waste matter and feed on detritus or dead or decaying organism. They make the soil more nutrients rich by the process of decomposition. These nutrients are used by plants for their growth and survival. Soil provides nutrients, minerals such as iron, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, copper and potassium. These minerals are absorbed by plants and are necessary for plant survival. Animals eat the plants and thus utilize these minerals as well. So now the decomposers, see, this is biotic and abiotic. What is the role of decomposers? Decomposers, already in the previous class we have learned the microorganisms which will kill, which will split the dead organisms are called decomposers. And suppose some leaves are falling from the tree. If the leaves are not getting into small pieces, if they stay as such in the ground, then it will become waste. Then the place becomes complete dirty and it will be occupied. There will be no place also, right? Now here comes decomposers' important role. When the dead leaf or even a dead body, whatever is falling, immediately these decomposers will fall, just go on the dead organisms and it will eat. How the knife is cutting the food or plants, vegetables, just like that, these decomposers will feed. It will eat slowly and decompose the entire body, that is plant body or animal body, whatever it is. So now the decomposers also play a vital role. Now already we have seen soil has minerals. They have listed what are the minerals they have, like calcium, magnesium, aluminium, copper. These are the minerals found in the soil. So not only the sun energy, these minerals also from the soil, they are absorbed by the plants and stored inside, and we also need these minerals for our day-to-day life. In your higher classes, you will learn in detail. See, we eat so many things, right? We eat rice, carbohydrate, we eat oil, that is fat, we eat pulses, that is protein content. Why we eat so many things? For so many work purpose. See, if you take house, you have bedroom, hall, kitchen. You named different. In each room you do some work, right? The same way, whatever food we eat, they will have different work in our body. For example, carbohydrates will help to get energy. Proteins will help to grow. A small child need more protein food because it has to grow. The same way, these minerals are also one important nutrients which helps in our body in several ways. For example, without getting disease, we have to live. For that, to improve immune power, there are some minerals which will help. And suppose for digestion in our body, some chemicals must be produced. Only those chemicals will act on the food and it will split the food. For that, some minerals are needed. You will learn in detail in higher classes. And these minerals are again present in the soil, which is a abiotic thing, and without that animals cannot live normal life. So that is called interdependence. Now we will see the last paragraph in your book. See that air provides oxygen, carbon dioxide and nitrogen for the survival of the biotic components of habitat. Living organisms use oxygen for respiration. Plants use carbon dioxide to make food and nitrogen for the formation of proteins. So we have seen about the non-living thing sun, and the non-living thing soil, and non-living things minerals, and now the last non-living things they have given here is air, like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide. There are several air forms in the environment. What is the use of oxygen? You know very well. We breathe. We intake oxygen. Without oxygen, we cannot live. Then take plants. Plants, when they breathe like us, they will intake oxygen. They will release carbon dioxide. But when they produce food, during the formation of food, during the photosynthesis process, the plants need carbon dioxide. Because as I told already, the plants are going to trap sunlight, and they are going to convert the sunlight energy into chemical energy and store inside the leaves. How will it store? Sun energy cannot be stored as such. It will fly away. So to bind the sun energy, the plant will use water and carbon dioxide. You just imagine a person standing and both the sides, someone holding the person without moving, without running. So if you imagine that person as sun energy, one side carbon dioxide and one side water. When these two attached with the sun energy and it becomes chemical energy, it will not move away. So it will be stored inside the plant. So there we need carbon dioxide. Okay. With this lesson is over, children. You can go through the entire lesson again, and today's homework you take all the remaining PQ questions, and more than homework, you have your exams from Monday, right? So take your exams very serious and use these 3 days, today, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, to prepare your test, because this entire lesson, as father instructed you, this time we are going to give descriptive questions. What is descriptive? you will not have one words. No fill in the blanks, no meanings, no true or false, nothing. We will ask one heading and you have to explain about that. So what is meant by explaining? You have to write a big paragraph. For example, just now we have finished. If I ask the question, write about the interdependence between biotic and abiotic. Entire points you have to write. What is biotic, what is abiotic, how the biotic and abiotic is dependent each other. Like you have to write, without air the plants cannot, without the air carbon dioxide is there, they cannot produce food. So in each and every answer 4 to 5 sentences you have to write. Understood? Your own you can write. Anyways, now I will send the notes, classwork notes. I will send with this. You can prepare entire thing, and classwork notes is nothing. Entire lesson under the different headings I have given. So if you go through the entire lesson, read and understand, write with your own words. That is what I want. You should not copy. Read the paragraph again and again. And if you get doubt, take the respective video. Suppose you are reading the first paper, first page of the habitat lesson. You are not able to understand something. Then the explanation will be there in your video. Open that video, check it out, and you can proceed. Okay, children? And take the test very serious. I want neat writing again, because most of you are writing good and few handwriting is really very bad. Those children I will inform personally. You have to practice some handwriting also. And when you write the test, write the date and the name of the subject, test paper 1, and with the question and answer. And already you would have got the instructions from father. You have to start exactly in the given time, 7:30 or 8:30, whatever time is mentioned in the schedule. Before 10 minutes, take all the books, everything, keep ready. Okay, class work, content book, text books, everything keep inside the bag. Don't take it out. Only the question paper what you are going to send, the mobile should be with you. And take the test notes given. Write neatly with the question and answer. Question number, question and answer in detail you write. We are going to give only 4 questions. 10 minutes enough. If you write little late also 15 minutes.